I'm very pleased to be here today to launch the Penang Paradigm, which is a framework put together by Penang Institute under the leadership of its Executive Director, Professor Dr. Wu Eng Tai, Dr. Wu Eng Tai, to develop Penang as an international and intelligent state. Or to put it simply, to make Penang number one in Malaysia. Now allow me to begin by putting on record my appreciation for the contributions of Professor Dr. Wu, who is a world-renowned economist and a former special advisor to the United States Treasury, the United Nations and the People's Republic of China. Though Professor Dr. Wu is unique in his talents, he is at the same time nearly one of the many hundreds of thousands of talented Penangites who were lost to our country through brain drain in previous decades and who are starting to return to serve Penang since 2008 in the transformation of brain drain into brain gain. It is my long-held belief that Penang's most valuable export over the past 50 years has not been electronics or electrical goods, but human capital, the talented sons and daughters of Penang. And what a tragic export business this has been. For decades, the talented young people of Penang have left because of lack of educational opportunities, lack of economic opportunities, discrimination, corruption, and lack of social justice. Penang's loss has been other countries' gain. Penang has given other countries their professors, their doctors, their engineers, their chief justices, and cabinet ministers. This state of affairs cannot be allowed to continue. Our vision is for Penang once again to be a regional hub that will build, upgrade, attract, and retain international talent. Penang can only do so by becoming an international and intelligent state, one that educates and nurtures talent, one that promotes and rewards diligence, expertise, and entrepreneurship, one that is livable by being clean, green, safe, and healthy, and one that practices integrity, justice, and people-centric governance. Since 2008, we have worked with this vision in mind, despite the numerous constraints that we have faced. We have introduced open competitive tenders and compulsory asset declarations for ESCO members to weed out corruption and cronyism. We have made state government contracts available for the first time for public scrutiny. We have legislated and pushed for freedom of information and local government elections despite federal obstruction and opposition. By operating a clean and competent government, we have reversed a string of deficits by recording consecutive budget surpluses year after year since 2008 and have reduced the state debt by a record 95%, the highest in Malaysian history. And these surpluses are put to good use by giving cash to the poor, senior citizens, the disabled, students, and for single mothers. By giving yearly allocations for Chinese, Tamil, missionary, and Islamic religious schools. By carrying out infrastructure projects worth billions of ringgit to reduce traffic congestion throughout the state. By becoming the first state to allocate 500 million ringgit affordable housing fund to build 19,172 units of the best quality, some that is managed by HDB Singapore. And becoming the first state to wipe out poverty in Malaysia in 2013 this year by ensuring a minimum household income of 770 ringgit a month for every family in Penang, freeing Penang from poverty because this is above the poverty line indicator of 763 ringgit a month. In order to build on Penang's human capital, we have set up learning and training centers as well as an educational hub in Penang, in Balik Pulau. We have provided free Wi-Fi in public places In the past 5 years, the arts and cultural scene in Penang has flourished with events, international events, such as Georgetown Heritage Festival. And Penang has gained international renown for the revitalization of our World Heritage City. In order to improve Penang's livability, we have thought outside the box by introducing free park and ride services, free bus shuttle services across the bridge, adopted green measures such as banning free plastic bags. That one must clap lah. Phasing out polystyrene and by introducing a conservation surcharge to limit water wastage. We are also seeking to take this thinking outside the box forward by offering Rapid Penang 10 million ringgit every year to provide free bus services throughout Penang during peak hours, which unfortunately has not been taken up by the federal government. Ladies and gentlemen, all that we have done in the last 5 years, we have achieved despite the constraints of Malaysia's over-centralized federal system, where the federal government gets 94% of government revenues, and all the states in Malaysia, 13 states in Malaysia combined, gets only 6%. And of course, Penang much less. And where crucial local matters such as public transport, buses, ferries, taxis, airport and the Penang port are all under federal government control. Over the past 50 years, Penang has been badly neglected by the federal government, which has underinvested in Penang's public transport infrastructure and in her seaport and airport. Our airport runway is still smaller than Langkawi's and too short to allow for the Airbus A380 to take off fully loaded. The iconic Penang ferry has simply been left to decline, and at the rate it's going, is likely to become a museum piece. The Penang port, which was once the largest port in Malaysia, has been reduced to being a mere feeder port for Port Klang and Tanjung Pelepas Port in Johor. The Penang Channel has still not been dredged to allow larger ships to call on Penang, as was promised in the 9th Malaysia Plan. And the Penang Port Free Commercial Zone in Butterworth is too small to allow Penang to develop into a regional logistics hub. All this needs to change if Penang is to reach its full potential as one of the principal powerhouses of the Malaysian economy. Despite being one of the smallest states in Malaysia, with only 6% of the national population, Penang was number 1 for foreign direct investment in Malaysia in 2010, repeating this feat in 2011, with foreign direct investment over the last 2 years amounting to 28% of the national total. Penang contributes 25% of Malaysia's exports and nearly 2/3 of medical tourism receipts in Malaysia. The twin pillars of the Penang economy, tourism and manufacturing, both require adequate investment in Penang's hard and soft infrastructure if Penang and Malaysia are to flourish. For this reason, we intend to construct a third link sea tunnel to improve connectivity between the island and the mainland, as well as other road projects to improve traffic flow in Penang Island and Seberang Perai. And this will also help to spur developmental growth in the mainland, particularly the northern side of Seberang Perai. But more is needed to improve the airport, port, housing and public transportation infrastructure in Penang. We have always been willing to cooperate with the federal government in order to get the best for Penang Lines. And as we know, what is good for Penang is good for Malaysia. After all, if Penang fails, Malaysia also fails. Unfortunately, the federal government has not fulfilled their promises to the state to jointly develop the Greater Penang Master Plan in 2011. In order to facilitate this effort, the Penang state government even shelved and put aside our Penang Blueprint 2011 to 2015 at the request of the Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Dato Sri Idris Jalla, to make way for the Greater Penang Master Plan. We regret that despite participating in the labs organized by Idris Jalla and completing the report more than a year ago, nothing has been heard of since. The Penang Paradigm, which the state government has commissioned the Penang Institute to prepare, is our response after waiting a frustrating year without any word and commitments from the federal government or from Idris Jalla. And is a framework for creating a balanced society, one that is economically dynamic, one that is livable and sustainable, and one that provides democratic empowerment and social justice for all. It is a strategy for Penang's development over the next decade. Whoever may be in government at the federal level after the next 2 general elections. Our strategic vision for Penang is based on Penang's greatest asset, our people. We believe that Penang can only become the place that Penangites deserve to live if we have a people-centric government that invests in people, that educates and trains the people, that frees the people to innovate and engage in enterprise, and that liberates the people from ignorance, poverty, and disability. And of course, most important, free the people from fear, so that they can be full participants in our economy and democracy. We do not seek to manufacture economic growth through government expenditure and spending on GLCs, because we believe that the business of government is to stay out of business. Instead, we seek to turn Penang into a knowledge economy that emphasizes science and technology, and that relies on lifelong learning and upskilling to generate human capital-led growth. Our belief that success and prosperity depends primarily on the people rather than on government means recognizing that in an increasingly globalized world, Penang must be able to fulfill a threefold choice. That is, to be the destination of choice for tourists, the location of choice for investors, and most important of all, to be the habitat of choice for Penangites. Quality of life in Penang should not be just for the rich, but for all who live in Penang. This requires quality, affordable housing, efficient and effective public transport, clean open spaces accessible to all, a clean and healthy natural environment, and a vibrant arts, culture, and heritage landscape. Thirdly, our emphasis on people means that we believe that we cannot prosper and develop as a state and as a nation if women, ethnic minorities, the poor, and the disabled are shut off from full participation in our economy and democracy. People-centric government requires eradicating poverty, eradicating unfair discrimination, eradicating corruption, and eradicating cronyism, which elevates private interests and private profits above the public good. So, public interest must reign supreme. I believe that the Penang Paradigm is an insightful and path-breaking model by Professor Dr. Wu Weng Tai and his team in the Penang Institute. And with Zaire Q. Johari as his CEO, we in the Penang State Government that this can allow and permit Penang to lead again. We can make Penang number one in Malaysia as a balanced society and an international and intelligent state. Making Penang number one in Malaysia is possible. After all, Penang achieved international recognition in 2011 when it was selected by Yahoo Travel as the number 8 top island in the world that you must visit before you die. This year, Georgetown became the number 4 top place for retirement in the world, becoming the only Asian city on the top 8 list in the world. That is why, if there is change, don't worry. For those who have been changed, you can retire in Penang. And in 2011 and 2012, Georgetown became the most livable city for the first time in Malaysian history, surpassing Kuala Lumpur for the first time ever. Let us therefore work hard and prepare for Penang as number one in Malaysia. Thank you very much. Hari ini Kerajaan Negeri lancarkan paradigma Penang, suatu model pembangunan mampan yang kita percayai akan membolehkan Pulau Pinang memimpin semula dan menjadikan nombor 1 di Malaysia. Kerajaan Negeri yakin bahawa sasaran Pulau Pinang menjadi nombor 1 Malaysia dapat tercapai, memandangkan bahawa dalam 5 tahun ini kita telah lihat banyak kemajuan. Bukan sahaja Pulau Pinang menjadi lebih bersih, lebih hijau, lebih selamat dan lebih sihat, tapi pada 2011 Pulau Pinang telah dipilih oleh Yahoo Travel sebagai destinasi ke-8 yang terbaik di dunia untuk melawat. Dan pada tahun ini, baru-baru ini, 2 hari lepas, Pulau Pinang dipilih sebagai lokasi nombor 4 terbaik di dunia untuk bersara, dan merupakan satu-satunya bandaraya di benua Asia yang dipilih. Pada masa yang sama, tahun 2011 dan sekali lagi tahun 2012, Pulau Pinang dipilih sebagai bandaraya yang paling sesuai diduduki di Malaysia.
buat kali pertama menunjukkan prestasi yang lebih baik daripada Kuala Lumpur. Dan ini memberikan keyakinan bahawa memang model unik yang telah dirangka oleh Profesor Datuk Dr. Wu, seorang pakar ekonomi yang pernah menjadi penasihat kepada kerajaan Amerika Syarikat dan juga negara China, dua negara ekonomi yang terbesar di dunia. Kita rasa amat menghargai sumbangan beliau untuk kembali ke Pulau Pinang untuk merangka suatu model pembangunan mampan yang sangat khusus dan unik ini, iaitu paradigma Penang untuk jadi Pulau Pinang nombor 1 di Malaysia. Okay. Itu sahaja. Any other questions on the Penang paradigm?
Is this called an enhancement of the Penang blueprint? Is it lifted a bit or is it?
No, because Penang blueprint was for 5 years. Our Penang blueprint was 2 or 5. That was shelved.
Yeah.
After the federal government refused to follow up on the conclusions and the conclusions and the results from that discussions and the lab meetings. So we decided to come up with our own developmental model, and that is where the Penang paradigm came about. Professor Dr. Wu was not involved in the Greater Penang Master Plan. So you cannot say it's an enhancement. It is a completely different model. He was not involved at all. He only came in late last year. And you must know he is an economic advisor, not just of companies. He's an economic advisor of countries. Not just any ordinary country. United States of America and China. Top 2 economic powers in the world. So as I said, we are very honoured to have him on board to craft the Penang paradigm.
Would you say this is something like a manifesto for the election?
No, this is not a manifesto for Pakatan Rakyat. This is a roadmap to make Penang number 1 for all Penangites, whether for PR supporters or PN supporters. This is for 1.6 million people of Penang. Of course, we mentioned the 2013. We want to have public input and consultations, and after that, of course, the Penang paradigm developmental model would be finalized. And after all the inputs have been taken into account, the final version will be presented to ESCO for final approval. Okay, as I said, by this year. Because we are now in the rounds of public consultations and engagement. I think he made it very clear just now. Just now when you attended his presentation, I think it was very clear just now. And you are and gives us a sense of direction where we want to go from here. Not only where we come from, but where we want to go from here. Now I'm confident that Penang can be number 1 through the Penang paradigm. Because you have a world-class economist like Professor Dr. Wu. As I said just now, he's an economist advisor, not just of companies, but of countries, and the top 2 economic powers in the world, USA and China. So this is a very unique developmental model.
I see some of the things will involve federal cooperation. So how do you go about it?
So this is something that you cannot avoid when you talk about public infrastructure. But we will, of course, again engage with the federal government. I mean, let us not forget that even though they have been talking about the expansion of the Penang Airport, it was only done during the tenure of Pakatan Rakyat government. Let us not forget that even though they've been talking about the Penang second bridge, it was only started and completed during the tenure of the Penang Pakatan Rakyat government. Let us also not forget that the SMJK Jitsin School in Seberang Perai, Selatan. They've been talking over the last 20 years, but it was only approved again during the tenure of the Pakatan Raya government. So we will continue to engage for the benefit of the people of Penang. Ialah bahawa kerajaan negeri tidak akan membekukan apa-apa projek kerajaan persekutuan. Ia yang telah diluluskan akan diteruskan. Kita hanya berikan tumpuan kepada satu saja, iaitu AES, Kamera 1 Malaysia. Itu sahaja yang kita berikan tumpuan. Lain-lain projek yang telah diluluskan atau dijalankan tidak terjejas langsung sama sekali. Hanya AES, Kamera 1 Malaysia. Terima kasih kepada semua. Okay, right. No, I'm just making a statement. Because I think you know where I'm coming from lah. Xingzhou from Mianban. Okay, thank you. Okay, see the teacher, you know. Last time, very last time.